the Tipi Raisers, and we're vying and fighting for the Tipi Raisers. I'm not trying to take this away from Kevin, by no means, but I love the fact that Kevin is doing what he does. If you should be on the reservation with Dave and the Tipi Raisers, you would see Kevin. He's in the wheelchair. He's at Big Bats, and he punches it. He punches it down, and it's hard to be, as my grandfather say, Lakota gilila otechike. It's hard to be an Indian, you know. And the whole point of that is, I've had black people, other minorities say, you and me in the same boat, you and me in the same boat. No, not even close. We're called savages in the U.S. Constitution. 1924, we became citizens of the United States. Yet 13,000 Native Americans have fought for this country before 1924. We are the only people, and the Seminole people of Florida, Native, are the only people to defeat the U.S. government military. No other country, government, anything. Malcolm X said, this U.S. government sees the black race as a domesticated animal, and yet sees the red race as a wild animal. But the wild animal has land, timber, resources, water. So I applaud Kevin. Kevin's all the time.
Masu, welcome. No. Welcome. Really good to see you. The way our screen is set up, I want you to introduce yourself in a minute, but the way our screen is set up is Kevin went small there. So I'm going to ask Kevin to say a few words, and so we can see his pictures, what he's drawing, and then let's bring you back here. Brother Kevin, would you just say a few words, because that'll make your drawing actually larger on the screen.
This is a native Jesus in the Black Hills. This is a broken heart because all the people living in sin around the world, especially with the COVID-19, we have a broken heart. So a lot of us are losing loved ones daily, and we only have, in my way, we have the Holy Spirit and Jesus to guide us through this pandemic. And it's only through the power of prayer is how we can defeat what's going on that's negative, and we all must gather in unity and stay powerful in the power of prayers, because that's the only way I see the answer for a lot of us is if we stay positive and we keep strong and we stay alive and keep each other warm, because it's still cold out, and just very happy to be showing what I do here on a reservation, because it's what keeps my spirit alive and keeps me sober, and it just makes me feel very honored to do something that's very positive for our people here on the reservation, because we have a hard time making ends meet. But doing our artwork helps us feel worthy for who we are as Lakota people.
All right. If I can jump in here for a minute, I'm being told here that there's a way that I could make Kevin's video large. And okay. So I think now, who gave me that? Nancy, thank you for that. I didn't know about that. So now I think different people can speak, but Kevin's picture is going to stay prominent there. So
I would chair older brother Dave. I've worked with Dave for 6 years, even though I live here in New York, and I've been teaching at NYU Lakota. But I've known Kevin, and I've known, like a brother, Chia, Kevin, and then Chia Dave. There's another Chia, John Bodenhausen, partner in crime and teaching. And I would love for John, he's not Lakota, but he's a sun dancer. And he's New Jersey from Massachusetts and also Sundance here in Maine. And I think it's great that he's an advocate in many, many ways, not just knowing and teaching the grammar of Lakota. I think John has a powerful message as well. So I'm going to open the door. If it's okay, Chia Dave, and I call him Chia Denver Dave, because he's in Denver, and Lori and the kids. So, hello, John. You're on mute.
And I'm going to jump in front of you, John. I'm sorry. I'm really wanting people to see Kevin's work here. Whoever this is, there's a lot of people here that are better at Zoom than I am. And what I'm understanding is that each of you have to pin Kevin so that he stays prominent on your picture there. So I believe you go to Kevin's picture, top right-hand corner, there's 3 dots, and then just pin Kevin. Do I have that right, John? You're good at this Zoom stuff. Does that? Okay. Please speak up if you're having trouble seeing Kevin, because this is obviously, we're wanting him to feature his work. So if you're having trouble seeing that, just let us know. And John, if you wanted to say things, John teaches the Lakota language class with Reuben.
Well, yeah, I'll say a little something, but I want it to be about Kevin. I'll just say that Kevin has no idea who I am, but I've seen him around for years at Big Bats and Sioux Nation. And, I even bought one of his artworks one time, and have had encouraged friends to buy them too. So I would say they're awesome, and I would encourage everybody to buy something from him. And so I think that's all I'd like to say. I love the imagery that Kevin has been painting and drawing. So with that, I'll turn it back to, Kevin, why don't you tell us about your life?
A while back ago, we had an incident. We had an incident with the graffiti written on our sign at the tribal day. When you come into our reservation, we had some people put their swastika and their German signs on our way. So the tribal president asked me to remake the signs. I'm really grateful for Tipi Raisers and helping me get the plywood and the paint.
No.
The sign over. So I'm really thankful that I was chosen to make the sign for the tribe. And it's about the 2 eagles making the broken heart, and then the buffaloes are crying because the people around the world are having a major problem with this pandemic. So we also have to keep Jesus in our hearts, because for myself, I wouldn't be here talking if it wasn't for Jesus, and I'm just very thankful. He's given me a second chance, and I'm able to express my heart and soul through my art, and it's the only way I can get through this life here on a reservation because of all the hard times that we go through. And these are the children around the world, like the red people, the black people, the white people, and the yellow people. It's the unborn children around the world. And I put Jesus there because he's the answer. He's the way, the life, the truth. And he can set our people free from misery and darkness. And bring us hope and bring us life, bring us love and peace. Because that's what we need here on the reservation. We need what we used to have a long time ago. We used to have Lakota where we could sleep with our doors open. Now it's really hard to do that because we have another serious issue with the people doing methamphetamine here. So we need people's prayer here on the reservation to help our youth understand that it's really fatal and it can take our kids away in a heartbeat. So we have to always keep prayer in our hearts and just keep praying. I put the Holy Spirit right here, and the star represents the Holy Spirit.
Hola, Kevin. We have somebody wanting to ask you a question here.
Yes,
So Karen had a question for you about what you're drawing.
I'm drawing a native Jesus in the Black Hills. This is the Black Hills right here. This is the Holy Spirit. These are the unborn children around the world. And this is a broken heart because of all the people living in sin, not just here on our reservation, but all over the world.
You know, Kevin, I went to, growing up Catholic, and I got two stories to tell real quick. I went to a mass in Birmingham, Alabama, and in the church, it wasn't a Jewish or white looking Christ. It was a black Christ above the altar, spread out. And then I went to Hawaii, and it wasn't a black or white Christ. It was a Hawaiian. And in Oglala, it's a sun dancer, spread out, nailed to the cross. And so I totally get what you're getting, because I need to tell everybody that the second question, the second thing I wanted to say was everybody has their own version of God in their own way. And when they took everything away from us, Native American people, American Indian people, Lakota people, we had to make our way. And I used to drive the bus and pick up everybody in Oglala and take them to Mass. And then on the way home, they'd speak Lakota. They'd say things like, "Cha, we want what you. Are you going to go to the Sundance? Ha. Hemanikte." And I heard them say, yes, I'm going to the Sundance. And I had to ask a question to an elder, the last one I dropped off. And I was 19 years old. I'm 49. And he said, "Reuben, when they took everything away from us, all we had was Christianity, something to believe in." And I think Kevin here is a great example of the balance between the Lakota way of life, his drawings, his life, what he does. I've been a street performer in Canada, Toronto, London, New Zealand, and Australia. So I know how to work at the streets to live the balance. And Kevin does that. He lives between Tunkashila Kantaka, the Creator God in Lakota, and Jesus. He still believes in both. I know he says Jesus a lot, but it's a balance, and that's what's great, and that's why Chair Dave Ventamagilia brings him in every time, and I understand that, and I love that.
Wopila, Masood. Kevin, there's a question for you by Karen. She says, to the right of the eagle, she's wondering what's there.
Here.
Karen, unmute so you can talk directly to her. There you go.
Yes.
Kevin, just above the figure, there's the goes up and out. I think maybe you said it was the Holy Spirit.
Yes, right here.
Yeah? Okay.
Yes.
Okay, good. And
The morning star.
That's right.
okay. And the other question, Kevin, I had, I noticed in some of your oil paintings, there's this little patch of green that shows up, and I'm wondering what kind of
Signification.
Kevin, what kind of meaning or feeling is attached to that green that comes through in your oil paints?
Comes through maybe the green grass I make to show that that the love for art is here.
Kevin, there's Iwa asks, I'd like to ask the same question as Nancy. Where did Kevin grow up, and what do you like to draw the most?
I grew up in a boys ranch in Sioux Falls, South Dakota. I was a cross country and a track star back in the early 80s. I went to Augustana for art, and that's where I learned to do my art. There's a college in Sioux Falls called Augustana.
Chawana Kola, how old are you now, Kevin?
I'll be 55 here in 3 months.
55 winters. Misha, 49 winters. And the reason why I asked that, with men, it's okay, but his generation went through a lot of peril, a lot of difficulty staying Lakota. We grew up, Kevin and I grew up in a time where I went to Sioux Falls Catholic schools in Aberdeen and Pierre and Rapid City, which were all in the 70s, very, very racist. And I was the black kid, and he was Kevin. And we were the Mexican kids. We were the Asian kids. We were the other. And it's nice, but, I don't mean, I'm just saying this. Biden says, and Harris says, we are Native American. They say black, they say Latino. Now they're saying Native American. Finally, they recognize us as the original people. Beautiful work. So I through Dave Chia and, meeting Kevin, wow.
Hey, Masu, let me jump in here just as he's showing his artwork. Brother, you got the picture you're showing there. If you could explain some of the symbolism, and then behind you on the wall is also one of your paintings. If you don't mind just explaining a little bit, yeah.
This one here was probably the first picture I knew how to draw, and there's a picture about Tashunka Wheatco, because there's no pictures of him, and it's crazy.
Crazy Horse.
It's the pipe in the center is giving thanks to the Creator for the Lakota way of life. And the buffaloes on the bottom represent the people around the world, and the elk represents strength, because we need strength and hope through this pandemic. And I took the handprints for the children around the world and put a Lakota design on it that's sacred to the people, and I put the Holy Spirit in his hair, and I put his horse kind of jumping out, a pink horse. This is on I think a 4 foot by 5 foot canvas.
And the sage.
And the sage represents prayer.
Isaki.
Brother, you had held up that other picture. It was a blue picture. Could you just hold that back up? And is there anything you want to say about that one?
Yes, I got one here in a frame. This one represents the circle of life. It means when you're born till you pass away, I put the children in each corner that represent the circle of life. The white buffalo for hope, and the eagle is the messenger to the Great Spirit. And to me, it's the Holy Spirit. That's actually my favorite picture to draw because it's my mother's last name, White Boo.
Brother, there's a question here from Rick. He says, my son is 12 years old and a talented artist. How do you suggest I get him interested in drawing art about our culture?
Get him to doing charcoal pastels because he can create vision. He can create what he feels, and especially when you spray it, it just gives you a sense of an accomplishment. This one here, I called the Last Supper, Josh.
Is fried bread in there?
Hey, Reuben, can you put your earbuds in?
Color on blue with the white buffalo coming this way instead. And then the Holy Spirit, the circle of life. I work with these Rembrandt pastels because they're quality and they do a good job, especially when I put the hairspray on them. I use this hairspray right here. It's the best when I put on the picture. So. brings out a good shine to it. And the next one I wanted to make was a self-portrait. Every artist does a self-portrait, and this is what I do. Feel free to ask me anything and look for questions.
Well, this is perfect because you said this is a self-portrait, and the way you're turned at the camera, we've got a perfect side view of your nose as you're drawing your nose. So
Yes. You're pointing with my lips.
yes.
That's right. All of us Indians have big noses, so they say, Dave, you going to the store? Where you going? Once you're Indian and you're adopted Indian, and Dave will be one day, either Kevin and I will adopt him or John. They're going to be going like that. Let you monkey. I'm going over there. Indian joke. Another
we
Indian,
got it. We got it. We were giggling.
another Indian joke is at the powwow, the MC, Master of Ceremonies, is guiding us, and he says, "Security, security. There's a fight between two women going on behind me, over me, and the ugly one's winning." Indian humor is very dry. It's like British. It's very British.
John, you're chaperoning Masu Reuben. Just
You mean I have to keep control of him?
well,
Make
good
him
luck.
behave? That'll never
Pull the
happen.
reins in, John. Pull the reins in. I've
We had a
worked with
question.
John.
Who gave that man a microphone anyway?
Yes.
I know. That's the other joke. Never give a Lakota man a microphone.
We've got a mute here that we'll do. Kola, Kevin, you've got a question from Jamie. How much time a day do you work on your art?
I usually put anywhere from 2 to 8 hours a day. Sometimes if we're having a hard time making ends meet, I'll stay up for anywhere from 8 to 16 hours.
Kevin.
Yeah.
When I was in high school at Red Cloud, sometimes I couldn't sleep at night, so I would get up and just draw. Is that something that happens to you? That's therapeutic?
My grandmother passed away when I was 8 years old, so this was all I did after she passed away. It was really helped me get through the mourning process. Little did I know I was going to end up doing this the rest of my life, and I ended up my dream was to be an art teacher, so I can show
You
other
are.
people that don't have parents to something to feel worthy about and something to. While you're making them, I pray as I make them, because I may be having a hard time with temptation or having a hard time with someone that passed away in the family, which is real common here. So we have to always remember that Jesus is the King of Kings and the Lord of Lords, and he can guide us through everything that's negative here on a reservation, only if we believe.
Brother, there's another question from Rick here. Are there any art books about our culture? I assume he's talking about the Lakota culture, to help inspire my son to draw about our culture and take interest in our culture. Are there art books that you know of, Kevin, that would help inspire his son?
There's a guy named Oscar Howe that has
Oh,
great art, and that guy's one of the greatest artists of all time. And I would order some of his stuff because it's all abstract, and he can start out the way he wants to, with making something he loves like abstract, and putting maybe his portrait in the middle. Because what makes me feel good is when I draw myself, and I just feel really good because it just gives you a whole new sense of accomplishment and helps you feel worthy for living. Because for me, being in a wheelchair, I thought was the end of the world. And after I got baptized and I started to believe that there was something greater than me, and it's Jesus, I started to live life one day at a time, because life's what you make it here on a reservation. And for me, it's doing art and keeping positive and keeping happy, because it's real easy to get sidetracked.
also, I have to jump in by saying that on Pine Ridge, the Two Bulls family, Matt Two Bulls is a great artist. He did a lot of mural work for the tribe, as well as the Loneland School, and of course Kevin. And I really believe Kevin needs to write a book or have a book written about him. And if you get a chance, everybody, please look at Chia Kevin. Kevin's work is unprecedented. You won't find that anywhere, and you'll help him and his family. Pine Ridge is the poorest place in the country. I grew up there, and he's still there. So nobody knows. Out of sight, out of mind was what the U.S. government initiated on us. And John, my Chia, John and Dave have been on there aiding and helping in many, many ways. So if you can help in any kind of way, shape, or form, many people ask me, what can I do? And John and Dave, what can we do? I say, give it to the Tipi Raisers. It's great, because it helps everybody on the Pine Ridge. And for 6 years, I worked with Dave, and I was paid by Dave. And today I'm being paid, even here in New York, just to teach Lakota, get it out here. And in my work out here, I'm 40 miles north of New York City, and I used to teach at NYU, but now I'm teaching from Zoom. People still want to contribute and help, not just here or the West Coast, overseas, to contribute to Native American people. And it's a way for you to say, I'm helping. So, John, do you want to say anything?
Let me jump in there. There's another question here from Karen. Kevin, what is the significance of 7? I see it in several pictures. The number 7.
7's a sacred number to the Lakota. The 7 council fires of the Great Sioux Nation. And
Direction?
My grandfather Enos Poorbear made the flag for the tribe, and I believe it was 8. I think it was 7 or 8, but my grandfather Enos Poorbear made the flag for the tribe back in the 60s. So I feel honored to say that, because I looked up to my grandpa when I was a little boy, and he was very helpful to a lot of people. He was like a crazy horse in his time, and he helped a lot of people who went hungry, and he went out of his way to take them firewood and take them buffalo meat. So I come from the family of the Doll Knives here on our reservation. And my great grandfather, Guy Doll Knife, was the first police chief officer here on the reservation. And he lived to be 96 years old, and he was a rodeo man. And he was like 6'5". So.
Wakichuze, which is a policeman in Lakota. I want to, he's drawing.
Ms. Sue, Reuben, hang on for just a sec, please. Kevin, is one of your Tekosas behind the laptop, or Gayla still there?
Gayla's still here.
Gayla, could you grab the flag that's by the coffee machine there? Kevin was just talking about it. And I wonder if Gayla could just bring that flag over so people can see. Because Kevin, is the flag by the coffee machine, is that the one that your grandpa drew?
Yes.
Okay, it'd be just a cool thing, I think, if people could see that. Excuse the interruption, Mr. Reuben.
You're always bossy anyway.
So Kevin, do you want to just explain that, the drawing there? Is that the one that he had done?
Yes, but they added like 2 more districts. So we have 9 districts here on the reservation. We're Pine Ridge, Wombly, Kyle, Potato Creek, Martin. Anyway, we have 9 districts here on the reservation. I can't remember all of them, but we got 9 communities here.
And they're all teepees. They're
Yeah.
teepees.
I'm making one this big. It's going to be 4 foot by 8 foot, but it has the flag in it with the buffaloes down here and the eagles that make the broken heart and the handprints in each corner with the morning star representing Jesus. And it's going to say, "Welcome to the Pine Ridge Indian Reservation, home of Crazy Horses people." And that's going to be on the sign, the new sign coming up here within a month. I'm going to
Nice.
It's
Are
going to
you-
be painted on both sides.
Chia, are you designing that?
Yeah, I'm making the sign for the tribe, so and feel very honored that they chose me to do it. So
You know, and what Chia Kevin is saying here is that what comes from Black Elk, our oldest medicine man in 1930s, the last one that was really powerful, he said everything an Indian does is done in a circle. And you can see on his pictures, everything is a circle. The birds that make their nest in a circle, the teepee is made in a circle. The moon and the sun and the earth is a circle. The galaxy is a circle. Everything that has power is a circle. A woman in man's life, child's life is a circle. From childhood to childhood is a circle. And so that's how we live. We still live in the power of a circle. No corners. You look in a teepee, there's no corner. It's all circles. So real quick, I just want to honor, like I want to call him like she, but he's more my chia, like Dave and John Badenhausen. A song, if I can. Is it all right? And the song is saying, the good that you see is me. Not me singing the song, Reuben, but Kevin. The good that you see is me. Every time I do right, you see me. When I walk this road of life, I try to think positive. The good that you see is me. My people. And it's not just towards Indian people, it's towards Neela and John and everybody else that's listening. Oh ya te que washte wala ke le me ya lo yo oh ya yo eda ya Don't ha o chanko yo awa mane chaya wash te blue chaya lo yo aya ya edaya oh ya take it wash te wala ke le me lo yo aya yo. And that's for everybody, not just for Chia, big brother Kevin there in Pine Ridge. The good that you see is me. Every time I walk this road of life, I try to think positive. Think positive. And that's why you have to support TipiRaisers.org and Kevin, for the work they do is nonstop. And the song means that. Hello. Let it be so.
Wobulamasu. Brother, we've got about 15 minutes, and because Gail opened up the building and she has a family to go back to, we're going to have a hard stop at 7. So about 15 minutes left. And if there are other questions for Kevin, we really don't want to make this like a pushy sales thing at all, but we do want to make sure that people who want to buy a picture from Kevin have the ways to do that. In the chat room there, I've listed what he charges for his pictures, and if you just send a request to info@, I'll make sure the funds get to Kevin based on what he's laid out. And you can let me know what picture you want, and I'll pass that on.
I do want to say this, Chia, just real quick, that everybody continue supporting TipiRaisers.org, because they're hands-on. They're hands-on, they're there, they bring diapers and toilet paper and medicine and craftsmen, plumbers, carpenters to the reservation. And, you know, people ask me that all the time as a teacher myself out here in the East Coast. And I always mention Chia Dave. And it's, you know, you can go to the American Indian College Fund, that's great, but I think better is somebody that's on deck, hands-on, right there. And I worked with them for 6 years, so.
But now I'm getting embarrassed by how much you're talking about Tipi Raisers. I got to keep turning it back to Kevin Poorbear. Kevin, can you just say a little bit about what you're drawing, and then Reuben, if you have things to add about the white buffalo. Kevin, do you have thoughts about
the white buffalo calf woman? So I'm making the white buffalo, and I'm gonna put her face inside the buffalo. It's a story that was told to us throughout time, and it's just an awesome story. So that's one of the favorite things I like to make, because it's talks about our spirituality. And 18 generations ago, the tribe was brought to our people, and this is one of the ones I like to make is about the white buffalo calf woman, because it's just an awesome story, and it's told in different ways, and you have to look it up online or hear it from Reuben. Maybe Reuben has a better way of talking, so I'm more or less, I'm just a picture artist, and I try to tell a good story, and it's just, I said, I've been sober for 12 years, and my granddaughter died, and she wrecked on her bike, and that's when I gave up drinking, because she was only 6 years old, and it's really helped me become stronger in my family, and it just breaks your heart when you lose a baby girl that young. So, lost one of my boys, Gabriel. He was an artist also. He did tattoos and he froze. So we go through a lot of mourning, there's like a lifetime of mourning. You know, we have to always remember in our hearts that, you know, we can stay strong together as a family, the family that prays together, stays together. And it'd be great if we can go back to the old days and start living the way and the life, the old way. That way we can teach what we know to our grandkids and our kids, so that way they won't have a short life, and through doing artwork, you can start a business, star quilts, paintings, beadwork is a big one here. We do a lot of beadwork. For myself,
Kevin,
yeah.
I'm sorry to interrupt. I just wanted, there was a really sweet message from Don in Dakota. Says, thank you, Kevin, Reuben, and Tipi Raisers for the information to help guide my son to be proud of the Lakota way. That's just sweet.
Do. Yes.
People are asking about the prices for Kevin's work. Kevin gave me those prices, the $30, the $40, and the $50. It's in the chat room there. So those are his prices. And the way that would work is you just email to info@Tipi Raisers. Let me know what you're wanting drawn. I'll communicate that to Kevin. He'll draw it. We'll figure out how to exchange that money. I think what we'll do is it goes right into Kevin's Wells Fargo. And so I'll help just bring you guys together, and Kevin will draw those, and then we can help mail them. We'll obviously have to get an address.
Chair Dave, he's got two things to say in addition.
Reuben, wait a sec, Reuben.
Go ahead.
So the prices are not in the chat.
They aren't.
No.
I put them twice. That's
Yeah,
it's
well, they're
saying
not. Are you doing it to everyone, or are you doing it to?
it must be going privately. John, could you do these then? If you could write these down, and then if you could put them in the chat. For some reason, mine is going privately. So John, please put these in the chat. $30 for a color 14 by 17. $40 for a 16 by 20 color. And $50 for an 18 by 24. And I'm sorry that I thought those were showing up. So $30 for a 14 by 17, $40 for a 16 by 20, $50 for an 18 by 24, and all of that money goes to Kevin. So that none of that, we'll facilitate that, but that just goes directly to him and his family, so people know. John, did you get that, or do?
Yes, I did, and they're all in color, right? They're not.
Correct.
You just say
Yes.
they're paintings, or are they?
If you
Yep.
request anything specific, I can make it for you also.
So just in that info, John, if you could put the info@thetipiraisers.org, that's how people would request things. info@thetipiraisers.org. And then I'll pass that information on to Kevin. Couple of things. I joined this Zoom late. Kevin, we've only got about 9 minutes. At some point here in the next couple of minutes, could you just show again all the stuff you've drawn? Thank you, John. Karen asks, Kevin, do you know what size of paper that is that you've got there now?
18 by 24, standard size.
Okay, so that's the 18 by 24, that's $50. Jamie says, okay. Oh, Jamie, I know you said this privately, but the answer to your question is yes, I can always use help on Zoom. Jamie's being really nice by privately asking if I need help on Zoom in the future. The public answer is yes, I do need help on Zoom in the future. So, all right, making sure all those questions get answered.
Chair,
Yeah.
I just want to say that also plug that John Bottenhausen and I do a class. John's in New Jersey. I'm in New York, north of this New York City. And we teach Lakota. And then also that, and also please contribute to Tipi Raisers, because like I said, they're spot on. They're hands on deck. They help the people. If you want to help the Lakota people, you may never get there. This is one way that does help my people, Kevin, and what he's doing. So TipiRaisers.org is going to give a class that I do so you can ask all the questions culturally, spiritually, philosophically, language wise. And John is non-native and a Sundancer, but very thorough in his grammar. And him and I talk all the time in Lakota, and so do Chia, Dave, and I. So, and his family. So it's really great.
And coming down to about 5 minutes. Thank you, Sir Reuben. Kevin, we've got about 5 minutes to wrap up. It might be nice for you to show here in the next minute or two the pictures you've drawn, and then people can again just write us at info if you want us to get those.
And
Thank you,
Chia, Dave,
Jamie.
one more thing, Chia, Dave. Can you do this again? Can you feature somebody from?
Yeah, absolutely.
I think the people, I'm speaking for the people. I would love it because I'm so far away in New York here, but it'd be great to have something like this besides the language class that features artists, artisans, just native people, Pansy, Weasel Bear, people that are there, get people to understand what the hell's going on,
Right on.
So,
All right, I'm gonna open
Kevin,
up.
can I just, Kevin, do you
Yep,
have a
yep,
website
John.
that you show your work on?
No, I don't. I just work with Dave with Tipi Raisers.
If you guys go to the tipiRaisers.org and go to the trading post, there's 5 or 6 artists there under what we do. The link, go to tipiRaisers.org and you'll see a button, what we do. And you'll see a number of different artists, painters, people who bead, that sort of thing. So we've got a bit of Kevin's art displayed there also. We're running into the last couple or 3 minutes. If there are any other questions, especially from people who have not asked questions, that's beautiful, Kevin. Do you want to say anything about that other than what you've said, or?
This is the white buffalo calf woman, and the white buffalo is for hope and faith. I usually put the Holy Spirit right here.
Kevin, we can't see that. If you could hold that up, or when you're done, there you go. It's still off camera just a little bit. Bring it to, there you go. There you go. Right on. If you want to show just the pictures you've done, because we've just got a couple minutes here.
All right.
And my apologies truly if I've been rude in terms of interrupting and all.
This is Bear Butte, where we go pray. A sacred place where we go pray. It's Bear Butte. This is the broken heart again. The 7 council fires, the broken heart because of the COVID-19 and people that are living in sin. Put the eagle in my face as the messenger, the stripe of the American flag, the Holy Spirit, the way, the life, the truth. These are bear claws that you wear. The white buffalo, circle of life. Self-portrait of me, black and white. A native Jesus in the Black Hills with his white horse. For God so loved the world, John 3:16. And the Last Supper, Josh.
Right on.
And wait now, this is the real picture of Crazy Horse.
I know Gayla's in the background, and I think I saw some of your Takojas, your little ones come in, and just a thank you, Gayla, for opening up the building. We had a little bit of trouble, and there was somebody else opening up the building, and we had to call Gayla in when she was expecting to take some time off. So Gayla, can she hear me, Kola, Kevin?
Yeah, she can hear you.
Okay. All right. Gayla, thank you very much for opening up the building, and to your Takojas for handing you the work and all of that. thanks everybody for joining. And the answer to Reuben is yes, we will do another featured artist of some sort here down the road. So thanks everybody. I am not going to just dramatically shut the Zoom off, but we're not going to leave it up much longer because Gayla needs to leave the building and lock it up. So Doksha Ake.
Hey,
Dope
Dave, I
shot,
just
yeah.
want to quickly thank you for hosting this. I want to thank Kevin Corbett for sharing his art and his stories. I love your work, and I'll add to my collection. And I appreciate that. And I also want to thank Reuben Fast Horse. I always learn from Reuben. Every time I encounter him, I learn something, and I want to thank you for that as well. So blessings to you all.
I want to say thank you to Kevin also. My name's Dwayne. The past hour has been a meditation for me. Thank you. Thank you for who you are, Kevin, and how you are, and your craft and your spirit. And I just want Reuben to know he borrowed my car about 5 years ago on the reservation.
And I wrecked it.
And I just want you to know, Kevin, or Reuben, it's still running really well. Thank you.
In spite of him, right?
Thanks, Chia.
Dokashni.
I can't win. Ohikeshni.
We don't have goodbye, we have Doksha. So
Ha
it's just really
Dope.
great to put a show on in
Yeah.
front of people. It makes me feel good and just hopes and dreams that you can buy one or having a hard time. It takes money to make money, so I need supplies, and I like to do paintings too. I got
Dope.
18 by 24 canvases ready to paint if you'd like me to paint one.
Do.
Thank you to everybody. Doksha Ake.
Chia, can we get his phone number? Because there's a lot of people here in New York that would love Lakota art and information where I can put an order in with Chia, Kevin. And-
Kevin, are you okay with that number going out?
Yes, I am.
Okay.
You know your number? I've got it
Yes.
here if you don't.
Yes.
Your phone number is
605-867-5382.
605-867
5382.
605-867-5382.
Yes.
Kola, Kevin, thank you very much.
Wo pila tranca chichelo.
Good to see you,
Yeah.
brother.
Doksa.